The question I constantly get asked in home brewing is about bulk priming. It makes bottling a lot easier. You don't have to measure the different amounts of sugars, whatever type of sugar you use for carbonation, whether it be, you can even use honey, things like that. But personally, I just use dextrose for carbonation. It makes it a lot easier. You don't have to measure the different amounts for each different size bottle you use. A lot of people like the Cooper's carbonation drops. They're not really made for bottling pint bottles. They just don't come in that size. So bulk priming just makes it a lot easier. The first thing I do, just to get ready, is one thing you're going to need is a food grade hose. This one's nearly 2 meters long, very close to 2 meters long. All I do, you need another fermenter or a bottling bucket, whatever you use to bottle out of. Anyway, first thing I do is put everything I'm going to need to be sterilised into the fermenter. That, the hose, star sand, or whatever type of sanitizer you use. At the moment I've got star sand. I don't normally use star sand, but I thought I'd give it a go. At this time I'll also put my bottling wand and bits and pieces in there, everything I'm going to need to be sanitised. Screw it up a bit, just give it a shake. Leave that for a couple of minutes while it sanitises. One of the things you can do while you're waiting for everything to sterilise is weigh out your dextrose. What I use dextrose. I use 180 grams for most of my brews. There's a lot of brewing calculators for bulk priming on the web that you'll find for your particular style of beer or how much carbonation you like. I like about 180 grams, so it's easy just to weigh that out. Next thing I do is grab a nice clean saucepan. I usually boil water in it first, just to get any gunk out, tip that out. I add about 400 mils of water. Bring it up to the boil. I boil that for a couple of minutes. That water's now been boiling for a couple of minutes. I grab my 180 grams of dextrose. Mix it in. Have a spoon here. Have a spoon here and some sanitizer. Just give that a good stir. It's all dissolved now. Actually, leave the heat on low for just a little while, just in case there's some nasties in the dextrose. There usually isn't. There we go, that'll do. Turn it off. And I'll now cover that with some foil and just let it sit there and cool a little. The next thing I do is I sanitize all my bottles. I use a bottle tree and a pump action bottle rinser. Quite simple, you put it together like that. You fill this up with your sanitizer, and it's as simple as you pump it down a few times and does your bottles for you. Put them on the bottle tree, let them drain a bit, and they're ready to go. There's my bottle tree, set up with the pump action bottle rinser ready to go. And it's as easy as this. Just grab your bottle. The first few pumps are usually empty for there. I like to give it three or four pumps. That's your bottle. Sanitise, stick it on your bottle tray, grab your next bottle and keep going. It's that easy. They're a great investment. Try and do a close-up. There we go, all done. Only took about 10 minutes. It's a great way of rinsing your bottles, sanitising them. Next thing I do is I've got my bottle caps, 30 odd, put some sanitiser in with them, cover them over, there's enough to cover them. They'll be sanitised, ready for capping. One advantage of using a no-rinse sanitiser, I just put them straight on the bottles. Next thing I'll do is come back to the fermenter. Actually first I'll run some of the sanitiser through the tap again, just to make sure. I put it into my sink and I can sanitise things in there. Lid sanitised. Pour the rest into the sink. With the hose. And get it out. The hose and the bottler. This goes upside down on the sink too, just to drain. So I've just got my fermenter here with my nicely fermented beer in there, ready to go. First thing you want to do is clear out the tap. I just get a big glass and try and get any of that sediment out. Just that'll do. That clears out most of it. That's just the sediment that sits in the tap. You don't want that. You can taste it though. Doesn't taste very nice. After you've done that, it's time to take your final gravity reading. Just turn the tap on slow. Fill it up to there. That's probably a little bit too much, but it'll do the job. Take your measurement. Oops, a little bit too much. You spin it to get the bubbles off it, so you get a true reading. That says 0.005. That's fine. That's fine. I know that's finished fermenting. And because I've got a new refractometer, I'm going to give that a go as well. And that's quite easy. It does the same thing. It measures how much sugars are left in the beer. What you need, you get these little pipettes, whatever you want to call them. You only need a couple of drops. On that blue panel there, that's all you need. You shut that window down, push it down, make sure there's no gaps, that the beer covers that whole blue panel, and you look towards something bright. And that gives me the same reading. It's 5.5 by this, so that's good. I know this works. And with that you can work out roughly how much alcohol your beer's got in it. Then you can taste this as well. This will taste a little bit better, or should, than the other one that was full of yeast. Yep, it's nice. Now the next thing I do is take my sanitised hose, and you want to coil it in the bottom. So when the beer goes in, as less disturbance as possible. So you just coil it around in the bottom. I'll put a photo on it in a second. Everything's sanitized. You can see there how it's coiled in the bottom, and that's not going to stir up much air or anything when I pour the beer in. This hose simply goes around the tap, just like that. Put the lid on, just to cover it up a bit. Make sure your tap is off on the bottom of the fermenter. That's off. And also make sure you've taken the airlock out of the other fermenter out, which you should have done if you were moving it anyway. And next, I have the sugar solution. Done, and turn the tap on full. And it's as easy as that. I give it a little hand once it gets to the bottom, tip the fermenter up a little bit just to get the last of the beer out. You don't want to tip all the yeast out, of course, on the bottom, the tube. But just get as much beer out of this one, into this one as possible. There's no need to mix with a spoon or anything. The natural circular action of the beer going in will mix it in. You can see it's going down fairly fast. We're down to 15 litres left already. We started at 23. I just start tipping it up just to help it. You can see where the yeast is, that's enough. You stop before you put all the gunky yeast back in there. And turn that off. Pull the hose out. So now that's drained. Now's the time, if you wanted to, you could wash this yeast and use it again. Or you could just scoop it out and put it in a new brew. I prefer to wash it. But I'm not washing this batch today. So get rid of that. Pick up this one. Now that's ready to bottle. Doesn't matter what size bottles you use, they're all going to be equally carbonated in the end. So the next step, I had my bottler in sterilising solution, or sanitizing solution I should say. Put it together. This is just one that comes with the Cooper's kits. Put that into the tap. You're ready to go there. The other thing I do always is I sanitize my bottler as well. I mean, I'm going to be touching this, I'm going to be touching the bottles, I'm going to be touching everything. Everything I touch, I like to just spray some sanitizer on. On the handles more than anything. I don't have to worry then. All it takes now is you turn your tap on here for your bottle ready to go. Wait till it fills up. It's ready to go. Grab a bottle. Have a cap out of your sanitizing solution, straight on top like that. There you go, bottled. Now I just got another 29 to go. But it's that easy. You could use any size bottles. Just in case you don't believe me, I'll do one. Here's a little 330ml stubby. Same thing. Fill her up. Get a lid out of the sanitizer solution. Put her on. Just your level for your capper. There, done. They'll both be the same carbonation. Easy, saves time. It's very easy to do. Give it a go. There's one thing I forgot to mention before I go. Bottling can be a little bit tedious. It can be made easier with such things as this bottle tree and my bottle washing pump, and not having to worry about putting the right amount of sugar in each bottle. There's one thing I always do though. Let's have a beer. This is a home brew of mine. It's been sitting in the fridge since last night opened. Hopefully it's still got some sort of head on it. This is an IPA I made. So much there left. Cheers. It's that easy. That easy.